In today's top cannabis stories, good news. Youth cannabis use has not increased during the expansion of cannabis legalization. Mitch McConnell says hemp masks are great, but banking is iffy, apparently. And before you crack open your next CBD drink, do you know what's really in it? It's Wednesday, August 26th, and this is your TRICHOMES Morning Buzz.
Broadcasting live from the TRICHOMES.com studios in Southern California. It's time for your Morning Buzz. We bring you late-breaking news that keeps you up to date with what's happening in the cannabis industry.
First up today, a new report from the federal government says youth cannabis use is stable amid legalization's expansion. According to Marijuana Moment, lifetime cannabis consumption among high school students has declined during the peak years of state legal recreational cannabis legalization, a report from the Federal Centers for Disease Control and Prevention shows. The biennial Youth Risk Behavior Survey, released on Friday, examined lifetime use among youth as well as the separate measure of current or past 30-day cannabis consumption. It found that lifetime cannabis consumption increased during 2009 to 2013 and then decreased from the years 2013 to 2019. Given that several large states legalized cannabis for adult use during that later time period, with the first legal adult use sales launching in 2014, the data appears to support arguments from advocates that creating a regulated market will not lead to increased youth use, as prohibitionists have repeatedly warned. There was no change in the rate of current cannabis use among high school students from 2009 to 2019, the survey found. When analyzing using a quadratic change model, however, lifetime cannabis consumption decreased during that period. We are reassured by the latest results from the 2019 Youth Risk Behavior Survey because they showed that youth marijuana use has not increased over the past decade, even as more states across the country have passed progressive marijuana laws, said Sheila Vicaria, Deputy Director of the Department of Research and Academic Engagement for the Drug Policy Alliance, in a press release. She went on to say these results affirm that we must continue to promote marijuana legalization and regulation for its public health and community safety benefits, especially in regard to limiting youth access.
Next, Mitch McConnell recommends hemp face masks to prevent the spread of COVID-19. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell is urging Americans to wear face masks to prevent the spread of coronavirus, and he suggests these coverings to be made of hemp. During an event at the Kentucky-based hemp company EcoFiber on Monday, McConnell talked about the challenges the burgeoning market for the newly legal crop has faced, especially amid the pandemic, but he said it represents a viable commodity that is bolstering the economy. EcoFiber, which is producing hemp face masks, is an example of how businesses are innovating since the crop's federal legalization under the 2018 Farm Bill, the majority leader said. We're going to need a massive number of doses of a vaccine for COVID-19, not just for our country, but for the entire world. The coronavirus is not gone, and in the meantime, I recommend a hemp mask as one of the best, he said, adding that the company adapted to the pandemic situation and produced products that were helpful. Hemp, quote, had a great history in Kentucky, the majority leader, who also promoted a hemp-made pen last year, said. He added that the industry is meeting a number of different startup challenges. Meanwhile, the standalone Secure and Fair Enforcement, or SAFE Banking Act, has continued to sit in the Senate Banking Committee without action in the months since the House initially approved it. Last month, a bipartisan coalition of state treasurers sent a letter to congressional leaders asking that they include cannabis banking protections in the next piece of coronavirus relief legislation. Several of the group's Democratic state treasurers renewed that call last week in the face of attacks on the issue from McConnell, Vice President Mike Pence, and other Republicans.
And we'll end the day with another report. An astonishing 54% of CBD beverages contain less CBD than advertised. According to Green Market Report, CBD Marketplace and brand reviewer Leaf Report conducted independent lab testing on 22 CBD beverage brands to determine just how much CBD is actually in these products. Their findings were shocking and showed many of these brands to be entirely misrepresenting their true CBD content, whether intentional or not. Some brands contain far less CBD than advertised, while some actually contain more CBD. The company ordered 22 COAs from these companies in order to accurately compare their findings. Out of the 22 products that Leaf Report tested, 54%, which is 12 products, tested out less CBD than the brand advertised, while 2 of the CBD beverage products contain no CBD at all. Additionally, the report leads that 81% of beverages, or 18 products in this case, actually had CBD levels that were 10% higher or lower than advertised, while 14 products, or 64% of the products tested, contained CBD levels that were 40% higher or lower than advertised. This means that only 18%, or 4 products tested, actually contained the levels of CBD that were advertised. 64% of the total products tested by Leaf Report were graded as an F. Only the 4 products that actually contained the marketed levels of CBD were graded as an A. Leaf Report said that unlike the first report they conducted, they did not see a positive association with the company's overall reputation and their test results. This means that leading CBD brands were not more likely to score well on their test results compared to lesser-known brands. Leaf Report's research signals a huge problem in the CBD beverage industry.
And that was today's Buzz. Thanks for listening. For more cannabis news and insights from industry professionals, and a place to discuss these stories and others, visit TRICHOMES.com.
If you love our content and want more of it on demand, you can now ask your Alexa device to enable TRICHOMES Radio and stream episodes of this show and our other podcasts whenever you like. For TRICHOMES.com, I'm David Fortin.
And I'm Allison Ben-Yehuda. See you tomorrow.